Pancasila kita. Jadi ini sesuatu yang menarik. Tadi saya bicara dengan beliau telah memberi hibah ke Indonesia senilai $159 juta, di kesehatan 119 juta, pertanian 5 juta, teknologi 5 juta, bantuan sosial lainnya lintas sektor programnya lebih dari 28 juta. I told the floor that you have assisted us directly in direct donation, more than 159 million US dollars since 2009, mostly into health, terutama hal-hal strategik seperti vaksin polio. Beliau bantuannya 1,3 triliun, dan sekarang kita Bio Farma salah satu produsen 2 miliar dosis vaksin tiap tahun, dan ini untuk dimanfaatkan 42 negara di seluruh dunia, dipakai oleh 902 juta orang. Jadi hal-hal semacam ini, belum lagi vaksin lain, teknologi mRNA, dan teknologi pembuatan vaksin yang luar biasa. Terutama beliau sedang kembangkan vaksin TBC untuk dunia, tapi Indonesia akan jadi salah satu tempat yang akan diuji coba. Dan kita harus mengetahui bahwa TBC memakan korban kita cukup besar, yang meninggal hampir 100.000 tiap tahun, dan itu tekad kita untuk menurunkan. Dan beliau menunjukkan komitmen beliau untuk terus bantu kita di bidang itu. Juga untuk beliau sedang kembangkan vaksin malaria. So basically I informed them of all your commitments to help us control these very dangerous diseases that are endemic in our country, and the success of the polio vaccine. And we look forward to a breakthrough in the malaria and TBC, which I think will not be too far in the future. We invite you to give us a bit of your ideas, your vision for the future. And tadi saya sudah sampaikan keputusan saya sebagai Presiden Republik Indonesia, karena dukungan beliau, bantuan beliau untuk Indonesia, tapi tidak hanya untuk Indonesia, untuk kepentingan manusia. Saya akan menggelar rapat Dewan Tanda Kehormatan, karena saya ingin atas nama bangsa Indonesia memberi bintang tertinggi kita untuk seorang warga negara asing, karena jasa-jasanya untuk bantu rakyat Indonesia dan rakyat dunia. I think this is a lot, not a lot, all of us will be in agreement that you really deserve this for your contribution to the cause of humanity.
To collaborate more closely. The Gates Foundation got started in the year 2000, and so actually it'll be on Thursday after I leave here, I go to New York City, and we'll have a big event to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the foundation and talk about what we've achieved and what our focus will be as we spend the rest of our resources. As you've heard, we mostly work in health, and when I saw that my ownership of Microsoft would be very valuable, I had to ask, what could I do that would have high impact? And I learned about disease and childhood death, And that for many problems like malnutrition or malaria or tuberculosis, there was very little money going into that. The private sector wasn't doing it because the people who were suffering were mostly very poor, and the type of research needed, would require lots of money and lots of patience. And so we made global health the biggest thing for the Gates Foundation. Part of that was creating an organization called Gavi. Minister Booty is actually on the board of Gavi. He got to know Gavi well during the pandemic, when that was a very positive relationship between Gavi and Indonesia. So we're carrying that forward. The basic statistic that always is amazing to me is that when the Gates Foundation was started in the year 2000, 10 million children under the age of 5 died that year. And most of that was because of diarrhea, pneumonia, malaria, or a few things that make children vulnerable in their first 30 days. 90% of the deaths were in one of those 4 categories, amongst the best in the world. Vietnam, for its level of income, is the best in the world. They run, and it's not through the use of technology. I'm a huge believer that, particularly as you get up into high school and college, that having access to these learning tools, these tutoring tools from AI will help. But the key thing that allows a country to be an exemplar is that they train the teachers well and they have very high expectations for the teachers. In some countries, the teachers are so politically strong that asking them to do this, what's called structured pedagogy, sometimes doesn't work well. Our education work is a very small part of the foundation, only about 4%, and most of it's in the US, but we have some partners in India. 5 years ago, I would have said to you, India is not very serious about education because the measurements, they weren't paying attention. But really in the last 5 years, they're adopting new practices, including structured pedagogy. They're seeing very good improvement from quite a low level. But they're willing to look at the bad statistics and say, oh no. And they have a lot of interstate competition, whereas one state's doing something well, the other states are like, oh no, we have to catch up. So I think they're, even regionally, there's a lot that can be learned. Then you do want to connect into AI. The Gates Foundation funds a group called Khan Academy that does an AI called Khan Amigo. And they've had a few philanthropists, like some in Brazil and some in Mexico, that have gone to them and said, okay, we'll fund bringing that technology to our country. So, that would be a possibility. But, I wish I had enough to do both health and education in a serious way, but we're 90% health. But I'm totally aligned with you that education will be important, and now AI will finally help us with that.
Sekarang gimana Pak audio? Yes.